It's nice to see you. How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good. My name is DeAnna.
I'm Mike.
Mike, nice to meet you. What brings you in today?
I actually have a job interview on Friday.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. And I'm not really sure on much about it at all. I
Okay.
need to know like what to wear, certain things that I need to do, need to know about, stuff
Okay.
like that.
So you just want kind of general information, interview tips and techniques, things like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like I've been on interviews before, but not for an actual you know, like a career job. It's more just
Okay.
like a retail job here and there, which has been, it's not as obviously, it's not
Mhm.
as in depth or anything like that.
Okay. Okay. So first professional interview, Friday you said?
Yeah, it's Friday at 1 o'clock.
Okay. And what's the position?
It's for a phys ed job at a school in Homedale, New Jersey.
Okay. So congratulations again.
Thank you.
First thing, do you know what's appropriate attire to wear for an interview?
I'm not sure. I know there's a lot of like do's and don'ts. I know, obviously, like shirt and tie and stuff like that. But I don't know if I should, like wear a suit. If I should, depending on if the color matters or something like that, or like the tie, or even just like the dress shirt. I don't know if that, if like the color, if it's like you wear a certain color, it doesn't look good or something like that.
Yeah, clothes always matter. I know in particular gym teachers, nurses, they kind of think, oh, if I go to work in scrubs, I don't really have to dress up. But the fact is that you're not going to work, you're going to an interview. So you do have to dress full suit, jacket, suit pants, nice shoes, either like a deep navy blue or like charcoal gray suit colors. Black you can give or take. Sometimes it comes off a little formal, a little promish.
We don't want to do that.
No, we're not going to a wedding. And the undershirt underneath your suit jacket, white or pale blue, and tie you can give or take. Ties kind of goes with your personality. Stay away from red ties. It kind of represents power. Obviously, you're not applying to be the CEO of
No,
a company,
I
so
wish.
no power ties. Yeah. And try and stick to no solid colors, little patterns. Okay, so that would be your attire for the interview. What would you say are some of your strengths going into the interview?
I'm not sure. I mean, I've always had trouble kind of picking out like strengths for like myself. Like I always feel like it's kind of I don't know like what the word I'm looking for, but it's just like
Kind of like
I've,
boasting?
yeah, like I kind of like I've always felt like weird, like being like, oh, I'm really good at this or I'm really good at that, and
Yeah.
then it turns out, what if I'm not? And then they're just like, what is he talking about?
No, it's always good. There's going to be some questions that they're always going to ask you. Your strengths and weaknesses are always going to be a question that pops up. So you want to have one strength and one weakness ready to talk about. It could be anything. It could be that you have excellent communication skills. It could be that you manage your time well. It could be that you create really fun lesson plans. So definitely make sure to have that ready. For your weakness, try not to have something that's super bad.
Blaring.
Exactly. Don't say I can never show up on time, or don't say that I've only held a job for 2 weeks. They don't want to hear things like that. Talk about things that you have improved on. So you could say, I was really messy and never had organization skills, but I sat down, I put in this folder system in place, and I keep everything in folders, and they're color coded and labeled, things like that. It's progress, something you're working toward. So those can be strengths and weaknesses. What else? Do you have any questions that you're fearful that they may ask, you don't know how to answer?
I'm actually like I don't even know, like I'm going in like I really don't know like any kind of like what they're gonna ask me or
Okay.
like if I should show up with questions for them.
Mhm.
I feel like I should do some like research into it, figure out like a little bit about the school, a little bit about them, like what they do.
Yep.
This way it shows that I'm definitely interested in the position,
Absolutely.
and it's not just like I'm showing up just like, oh, he knows nothing. Why would we even bother?
Right. Research is always important. Background of the school, size of school, kind of general population of students. Obviously, what grades there are.
Yeah.
That's always important. Bring copies of your resume. That's always important. You have a professional resume?
Yes and no. Like I have one. I've never had it like actually like looked at.
Okay.
I mean, if I can bring it in, you'd be able to look
Yeah,
at
absolutely.
it if possible.
We can, we'll say we can make an immediate goal that maybe you can set up an appointment for sometime this week to bring your resume in. It can be critiqued if you want to make that kind of an immediate goal.
Yeah.
What's your long-term goal? What do you hope to kind of get out of this interview?
Obviously a job
Mhm.
if I can.
Mhm.
Or if if I can't, if I don't get the job, just some experience with it, just so I
Mhm.
know like if I have another interview down the road, I'd be like, all right, well this time
Mhm.
maybe I'll do this differently, or I'll do that
Right.
differently, or
Mhm.
I'll be more prepared for it because I'll have that experience of the
Absolutely.
first time that. So I mean that's pretty much what I'm going in as. I mean
Okay.
obviously I'm gonna try. Obviously the big
Yeah.
goal is to get the job, to hold the job for
Mhm.
and then obviously just try to get like as much experience, as much
Mhm.
information as I can, so that if I don't get the job, figure out what I can do the next time, the next
Right.
interview, to get the job.
Mhm. Right. How I always like to look at it is if you go on an interview and you get the first job you ever apply for, that's good. You got lucky, but you're never gonna learn from that. You're only gonna learn from failure. You're
Yeah.
only gonna learn from sitting in that situation and talking one on one with either the HR person or the person that you're gonna be working directly under. Um, Interviews, as intimidating as they may seem, they're just like conversations between two colleagues.
Okay.
If you're interviewing with a phys ed instructor, if you get the job, you're gonna be his colleague.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be any different than he or she. So the truth of the matter is, you're talking to somebody who's already in your field, who knows the same terminology that you do. And it's no different than a conversation.
And that's good because I definitely obviously I'm gonna be nervous.
Mhm.
That's gonna happen.
Natural.
I just don't want to be to where I'm just like sitting there, I'm just like shaking or like sweating, like I can't
Mhm.
like. I just want to be like, you want to be nervous a little bit because you want to.
Gives you a little adrenaline.
Exactly. You get you're excited. Means you're excited about it. If you're not
Mhm.
nervous, then you're just like, all right, this is.
Right.
You're not really. You're not
Mhm.
really excited, or you're not really into it. I feel like.
Right. If you do kind of experience a little bit of anxiety, don't freak out. Just make sure to breathe and remind yourself that this person, maybe they've been in the field a little bit longer than you, but they're here to do the same thing that you are.
Mm-hmm.
You are there to provide children with physical education skills, health skills, diet skills, and that's what they're doing now in their field. And you're just trying to kind of enter the field with them.
Yeah, and they've been through the whole interview process themselves, so they
Exactly.
know I'm going through and everything like that too.
Exactly. Good. Do you have any family support at home? Anybody who's gone through professional job interviews, maybe siblings or your parents that can help you out?
Not really. I know my siblings really. I feel like they haven't gone through. My one brother Chris has had his job since he was 18, so he's been with this engineering
Oh, okay.
company for forever.
Mhm.
So he started off low and then worked up. So I mean, it's not really like he had like a big like interview going in.
Okay.
I mean, my mom, I can talk to her. I'm sure she's had some experience with it.
Mhm.
She works at a Montessori school.
Okay.
She kind of went into that kind of thing, that kind of interview.
She's in the field.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe I can talk to her about it, see if I can get some information from her.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, I'll talk to my dad about it. Talk to my other brother, see if I can get any kind of information as much as I can. This way, I can go in prepared be as prepared as I can be.
Absolutely. Yeah, and there's only so much preparing you can do.
Mm.
Sometimes they might throw crazy questions out there that you had no idea how to plan for.
That's what I'm nervous about.
Yeah, no, don't be nervous. Like I said, it's just a conversation. One thing that you will need to have, the first question, undoubtedly they'll always ask you they'll ask you to tell me about yourself.
Mm.
It's called your elevator pitch. It should be a 30-second to 1 minute spiel about who you are, where you went to school. It's the easiest question, I promise. You just have to say where you went to school, why you're interested in the field, any kind of outstanding, if you've had internships or previous teaching experience, to include that. It's just to kind of get them interested in it. Oh, I heard him mention that. I want to get into that more.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a 1 minute little speech. You can go home, write it down, practice it a little bit. So that's also another goal that you can set. Maybe when you go home, we'll make an appointment next time you come in, have your elevator pitch kind of practiced, ready to go, and bring in your resume.
It's just kind of like something to grab their attention.
Absolutely. Yep. Just a little background about you. Doesn't have to be where you were born, your birthday. Doesn't have to be that kind of information. Oh, my name is Mike. I went to Rowan University, received my BA in Health and Physical Education. Student taught at ABC school. My favorite grade to teach is 5th. Give them a reason. And I'm excited to be here at C, D, and E school and tell them why you're excited about the position.
Okay.
Really simple. And that's the first question you'll get on every job interview.
Yeah. Some I'll definitely have to work on that 'cause I feel like that's something. If you get that right, it'd be good.
And it's something that you could use. Say you go to a social event, and there's the president of a school there, and he says, "Oh, we have a teaching position open. Tell me about yourself." You rant off that 1-minute speech, and then he asks you for your resume. Because if you say something that interests him, he's gonna want to bring you in for the interview. So it's just to kind of to get their attention a little bit.
Yeah.
Anything else that you're nervous about that you want to ask questions about?
I'm kind of just like I said, like I'm nervous on like some of the questions. Like I don't really know like what they're gonna ask. I feel like I need to. I mean, I don't know. It's just like you said. Like I'm nervous. You know, I want to make sure that I do good, so I can get this job because it's something that I want to do for for the rest of my life if I can.
Right.
And I'm just nervous about just like in general. I'm kind of just like.
Yeah, I don't want you to focus on being nervous. From what I hear you say, that might be kind of the issue on why you wanted to come in and kind of talk about it. Like I said, if you kind of experience if you feel yourself shaking or you're sweating, take a minute to breathe. You don't have to answer questions right away. You can take 5 seconds to think about it. That way you have your thought formulated in your head and you don't just kind of ramble off. Exactly. Yeah. So those are 2 things to remember, to kind of think before you speak and just breathe. It's not as nerve-wracking, I promise.
All right. Does it matter like the way like I sit, like I really have like no.
You should be comfortable. Kind of mimic what they're doing. So if the man or woman sitting across from you, if they're like real stern and has like an attitude, like mimic him. If they're kind of like lounging in their chair and they're like having a grand old time, you do the same. Don't obviously be unprofessional, but if they have a relaxed demeanor, you can be a little bit more relaxed.
Okay.
Same thing. If you walk into the room and you're in your full suit and they're in a track outfit.
So I was gonna ask you about that. Like, what should I?
Right. If they're just wearing kind of street clothes and you're overdressed, you can walk in there, take your jacket off, hang it on the chair you're sitting in, and you look a little bit less professional.
Try to make it more like
It's a little more business casual, right?
This way I'm not like super overdressed or anything like that.
It's your preference though. You should go in the full suit no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you just feel a little bit uncomfortable, if you feel overdressed, just take your suit jacket off. So you always have that option.
Okay, good.
Okay.
It's definitely something good to think about, so I can be more prepared for it.
So you have the interview on Friday.
Yeah.
With the anxieties, don't focus on them too much. Like I said, it's a conversation. Just relax and breathe. Your short-term goals, you can bring your resume in later on this week, as well as practice your elevator pitch.
Absolutely.
Okay, and your long-term goals, you said, is to ideally get the job.
Yeah.
And if not, it's good practice to go through one interview.
Definitely.
Anything else you want to ask? Do you feel a little more comfortable?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I feel like I'll see you. I'll definitely come in with
Absolutely.
my resume and stuff like that, so I can get it, be prepared for it, and everything like that, and do as good as I can on it.
Good. Okay, so I wish you luck, and I'll see you next week for the resume critique. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Thanks. You too.